Okay. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. Right. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. This is me, Andrew Whitehouse, specialist in neurological disorders, father of four children, stepfather of another two children, um, plenty of neurodivergence flying around in my family, and I'm also a specialist in neurological disorders, working in, I already said that, haven't I don't know, working in schools, colleges, adult care, childcare, and a little bit of corporate. I've been doing it over 30 years, and I've got a few things I'd like to say about it. But to support me, and actually not to support me at all,
We support each other.
we do.
We
I got
support
lost
each
there.
other.
Is my old pal Gordon. Yeah. So he's going to tell you what he does while I have a coffee.
Yeah, which is very, well, I would say very little compared to Andrew.
Mm,
But the job that I
nonsense.
do is, again, I'm a father of two children,
Mm.
both neurodivergent in their own ways. And for my sins, I am the chair of PACT, Parents and Autistic Children Together, here in Lincoln. And we deal with virtually everything
We
that we
sure
can.
we most certainly do, Ollie. So right. So today we're having a little shorter episode. This is because we wasted about 20 minutes on a subject and it was going nowhere. So we're starting again. And today we want to talk about
Colors.
colours. Okay. How
Okay.
important are colours in neurodivergence, Gordon?
Well,
Hang on, stop. This web podcast is called
sorry, yes, neurodivergence, more
Neurodivergence.
than a label.
Neurodivergence more than a label. So I keep forgetting. How important is colours, Gordon?
Colors, I think, are very, very important. We don't actually think about it in terms of what's going on, but I think the children inadvertently will arrange things color-wise,
Mm,
and it's also a very, a good way of communicating along the way. We have our very straightforward red and green
mm.
to sort of say, yeah, good
Stop.
or stop.
Go.
Yeah. And there's the other colors in between if we're talking about we brought it up I think 2 weeks ago when I was talking about my son's um headaches
Mm.
and migraines is what I'm looking for coming on. He would start to see colors and everything else.
Right. Yeah, you
Um
told me about this. Yeah.
yeah, and other children seeing different things in color format. So I think it's something that we're haven't explored properly enough, and we don't realize enough the benefit of it. So we thought we would talk about the use of colors and what have you within it.
Yeah. I just want to just take a little issue with you there, Gordon. There's a little bit of an. I've always been very interested in colours
Right.
and neurodivergence myself. So I think I have explored it a lot. And back in the day when I was a young teacher, which is a very long time ago now, back in those days, I remember I used to teach Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2, and then later on Post 16 in special ed. But particularly in the Key Stage 1, 2, say I'd got a maths lesson. So we got a maths lesson, and I obviously children work at a different pace, and I remember kids coming up and going, "Done it," and you go, "Oh, great. Well, do you want to go into your extension activity? Where is it?" You know, and you're like, "It's over there." And okay, and so what I did was I thought, you know what, we could be more streamlined here.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, um, I would say, right, okay, in the national curriculum in those days, I haven't got a clue now, but in the national curriculum, maths was blue,
Okay.
English was yellow, maths was blue. And so I made sure they had a blue book,
Yep.
exercise book. I made sure that the screen behind them, the work, the interactive whiteboard, had a blue background.
Right.
I then made sure that that I had an activity table with a blue cloth on it.
You're right.
And when you put those three things
Yeah.
together, the children, would literally, if you said, first of all, hand out the books, hand out the books. Which book is it? Your maths book. Which ones are the maths books, Mr. Whitehouse? You've taken all that out of the picture.
Yeah.
Okay, hand out the blue books, and now we've got a blue activity on the screen. And when you're finished, we can do blue on that table.
Hmm.
So that absolutely. Now, if you looked at that, if I was delivering that in a workshop for teachers working with autistic kids, you'd go, oh yeah, blue, yeah. So we got rigid thinking, they go blue, blue, blue. Yeah, we know all that. Yeah. But actually, I'm not talking about neurodivergence. I'm talking about all the kids,
Yeah.
all the children I'm working with. Same with English, it was yellow, and I can't remember the other one, sadly. It was a long time ago. But it was one of the very first little streamlined strategies that I ever
Yeah.
had.
And I suppose it's almost separating differences in terms of we're all
Yeah.
the same because it
Mm.
doesn't matter. We're all doing the blue, we're
Yeah.
all doing the yellow,
Mm.
rather than I don't know what we're doing.
No.
Well, I do. It's maths.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
said that, and so it's taking away that inferiority complex to a degree, isn't it?
Also, absolutely. And so you're talking about differentiation. Hang on. Sorry, people keep bugging me. Differentiation. Yeah, you're kind of going, no, we're all doing the blue work, and that's fine. Um, we're all doing the blue work, and that's fine. Now, maths in particular is a very interesting one because if we do shape and space, or we do if we do shape and space, or if we do something like I can't think of maths things. Come on, but fractions, time. They're not all the same subjects, are they? Maths is a weird one because it's got different subjects within it,
Mm.
you know. But actually, they're all blue. They're
Yeah.
actually all blue.
Okay.
So there's a lot to be sort of simplified then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So based on that, I was talking to a parent
mm,
um, whose child had just gone up into secondary school this September, Gordon,
yeah,
and they were given the timetable to go of where
mm,
everything was. Now, if you've seen the timetables at some secondary school where they give the children, it's in a sort of an A5
yeah, yeah,
size
yeah, yeah,
booklet.
yeah, yeah,
It's all crammed in,
yeah.
and it's in a box for, and it's my goodness, this is really confusing. I don't know what's going on here.
I
And
know.
it's one, it's here, but it's abbreviated and everything else. Well, to try and get around that is really, really difficult because if you've got dyslexia or you just
Hmm.
can't deal with that amount of information on the
Yeah, yeah.
page, how are you going to navigate that? Colors.
So I remember also when I went into secondary, I remember saying, you know what? We should color code the subject rooms.
Yeah,
So a maths room can have a blue door,
yeah,
and an English room can have a yellow door. I don't think they ever did it for me, but that's what I'd like to see. Or even, do you know, I still remember getting lost in secondary school when I'd been there 5 years or something.
mm,
I still remember getting lost, and that was so easy. The hospital. Yeah. Okay. You need to get your bloods done. Follow the yellow
yeah,
line,
yeah,
or follow the blue line for the maths department
yeah,
and the red line for the whatever that was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Caretaker. I was caretaker at a large and comprehensive
You
school.
never told me that.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
did I? Yeah, so not far from where we're sat, the
Okay.
school, and they did color code their departments. So we had one, two, probably five different outbuildings in the set and things like that, and the corridors and that were colored in
Right.
accordance with the subjects, so that people would say, "Oh yeah, I've got history. That's
Mm.
yellow." Or whatever color.
Mm.
So we know we're going to that yellow building,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
is over there. And then your diary would be color coded as well. And
Yeah.
that's what this mum did. She color coded.
Yeah.
And do you know what
Yeah.
the school did?
Well,
Put the child in detention for defacing the timetable.
I shouldn't laugh, but we're weary, we're battle weary of this stuff,
Yeah,
aren't we,
yeah,
Gordon?
it's
Absolutely
just
battle
incredible.
weary.
So yeah, we are going through things, but color to highlight, and that child knew. Oh yeah, I've got maths today. Exactly
Mm.
as you were saying, we know what we're
Yeah.
doing because the colors are highlighting it, and I know how many times this week I've got it
Yeah.
because the colors are. bringing out rather than the words getting lost.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it is, and the colours themselves can be more powerful. I do now. Let's see if I can remember this because I've not delivered this for a really long time. But I used to do a dyscalculia workshop. I still do, just nobody's booked one for a long time. And in the dyscalculia workshop, there were the C's. There was context, concept, concrete, and colour. And this is in maths. And so dyscalculia. And so context speaks for itself. If you're doing maths, you put it in a context. You're driving down the A1 and you see a sign 99 miles to London, and then another sign, says 63 miles to London, and you go, how long did that feel? We're contextualizing it. Maths is conceptual. 4 times 5 is the same as 5 times 4 is the same as 20 divided by 5 is 4, etc. It's conceptual. Um, it's important to use concrete resources because if you don't understand maths as well as other things, then you would, um, you know, you'd be able to see it, hold it, move it, kinesthetic, tactile learning. But the one that I was really interested was using color.
Hmm.
And I always remember talking about context and concrete to a teacher. He would be something like a year 4 teacher. And I said, give them something to look at. And I said, the best thing for this is 5 times tables, yeah, is using Unifix cubes. So you put, your 2 and then your 4 and then your 6, yeah,
Yeah.
as your times tables. And he grabbed a load of Unifix cubes and he built this 5 times table or something like that. But it was all higgledy-piggledy colours and you couldn't see it. And I said, if you were to get the red colours, then blue, then red, then blue, and you did it like that, people can see it instantly.
Yeah.
See it instantly. I mean, I'm told by Mrs. Whitehouse that men aren't very good at colour anyway.
Right.
Are you familiar with the phrase, you're not going out in that, are you? But anyway,
I didn't think that was color. I thought it was just taste.
no, it's a bit of both, mate. But using those colours, and it just makes things obvious. I want to quote our lovely autistic friend, what's her name? Ros
Was
Blackburn. Ros Blackburn. If it's obvious, state it. In the neurotypical world, we say no need to state the obvious. Not there. If it's obvious, state it.
yeah, yeah. And the other things you use color on is your overlays, but you use pockets.
I have got dyslexia and visual stress overlays that are the ones you can buy. I can honestly say I've never bought one. Um, uh, I've never bought one, but I have got them and they're very good. And they come in, you've got ocean blue and sky blue and azure blue and all the different ones. But it's the cost. It's the cost of these things. And it's also what your child looks like when they're using that thing,
Mm.
you know? And so uh for example, where am I going with this? For example, hang on. The cost of it, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you've got a child. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. But for example, uh, you can give a child an overlay; they immediately feel different.
Yeah.
Right? You can give a child little rulers that specially made for the job. Absolutely great, but the child feels different. I buy coloured punch pockets. I get them on Amazon, eBay, wherever. I think I get 10 colours or 6 colours, maybe 3.99, 50 of them.
Yeah.
But the important thing is I don't call it an overlay. I call it a punch pocket. If you need a punch pocket to put your work in, not to read through, to put your work in, go and help yourself. And they will gravitate towards the one that works best for them.
Yeah.
So Sorry about that. I lost my track of
No,
thought.
I
So
do it all the time, and I think it's important that we need that processing time
we
to see
do
where we're
need the
going,
processing time. Yeah.
and whether it's ourselves or whether it's
Mm.
our children we're talking about, we all need
We
processing
do
time,
need processing
and
time.
we can lose track, which is absolutely fine. But the colours for me, the overlays and the Elastanos problems that come in there to sort of say, well, I can't see this or I can't see that. Sometimes we sort of think, well, is it dyslexia?
Yeah.
No, it's just that our eyes
Visual
see things
stress.
in a color through visual stress, and
When it comes to visuals, I always say that autism's closest relative is dyslexia,
Mhm.
you know, and not in other ways, but just in the visuals,
Yeah.
just in the visuals. I remember going in the co-op one night. That's the exciting life I live, folks. And they'd got these rulers. I haven't got any left now. I gave them all away.
You did?
And they were a plastic see-through ruler, and then in the middle, unbelievable, it had a thinner line in the middle and a back piece. You could just a normal ruler, but you could read through it. And of course, I was going, this is great. You can take it down whilst you read it,
Mm.
read along the lines. Absolutely brilliant,
Yeah.
you know, absolutely great. And there I am in the co-op, coming out. I'd gone in for a pork pie and I'm coming out with 50 rulers.
Yeah, they were ridiculously cheap as well,
They
weren't
were
they?
30 pence,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I was silly really. I gave them all away. But they were just, yeah, you remember those?
I do. I do. Most definitely.
Gosh, we've been
Yeah.
around a while, haven't we?
And you've got Jeff Evans. He was doing a workshop
Mm,
for us, and he was talking about children going around school, and they find it very difficult sometimes to go in a certain area of school,
mm,
or it might be that I'm refusing to go to maths.
mm.
And it turns out that actually maths subject wasn't the problem. It was where the maths room was in school that was causing the problem.
Right.
And what he did with colours, he got your the red, amber, green
Mm.
colours so they're called rags, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they rag the school in terms. So right, let's go for a walk around the school. And when you feel really comfortable, you highlight. So you get a map of the school that the school can print off for you,
Mm.
and they say, right, on here, when we're here, now colour in this area as to how you feel standing here. And
Right.
so they do that to green,
Mm.
and then they'll highlight where all the reds are and the ambers. So you feel really comfortable in this section of the school.
Mm.
You feel well, okay, but not necessarily. And that is just, no, I'm about to kill somebody, and you've coloured it red.
Yeah.
Now we find out, why is this a red to you? What does it make you feel? What's in this
Mm.
area that's doing it? So it could be something like it's near the canteen, and
Mm.
all the smells from there I just can't cope with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
could be that, well, that's next to the corridor where all the toilets are, and it smells
Yeah.
coming from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The noise of the flush every time somebody goes there, it distracts me. These sort of
Yeah.
things. But by highlighting through color, that we can determine what the areas of school is, or it might be, I don't like going down that corridor because it's too narrow.
Yeah.
Is there a different way around to get to that class other than just the
Yeah.
normal way
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Let's do it. So now we're giving the child the confidence to sort of say, we will do what you need
Yeah.
to get to that, but we need you to give us the feedback. And they're like, yeah, this is great. They want to help me. And so I get a bit more confident
Yeah.
to do that and the learning. Or do we need to move the maths room altogether? Because there's just no way we can accommodate that.
No.
And so therefore we can accommodate by moving the
Mm.
room with one to the other
Yes.
based on where you are.
Yeah.
And so therefore we're now engaging the need of the child through colour.
Right. That's fantastic, isn't it? How easy was it to get things done?
In certain schools, they took it on board really,
Right.
really well.
Okay.
It's when you're doing it, and it's just highlighting, and I think a lot of schools don't really go there unless it's been pointed out to them, and
Yeah.
so it's normally the role of the parents to suggest it
Right.
because the
Okay.
schools haven't really taken that on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Sure.
but the ones that we have mentioned to the parents about, the school have been happy to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
and really work out. I don't know of any rooms that were moved or changed,
Right.
but we did highlight why there was an issue.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's good though, isn't it?
Mm,
Absolutely brilliant. And
yeah.
again, the use of color in neurodivergence, absolutely it's critical. I mean, some people, you know, some people really benefit from flashcards on a lanyard, red, amber, green. I would show you mine, but unfortunately, it's got my keys on it, and Stevie has those. So, but also, I've been given. TTS gave me a little red. It's shape of it's a triangular prism or a Toblerone to you folks. And it's got red, amber, green. You can have it on the desk in front of you. You can flip it round so that it's a subtle communication to a class teacher. I need to get out of here, or I'm just starting to fizz, or I'm tickety boo and green. All good to me. And then we've got wristbands. We used to have thousands of those, didn't we?
We did. We ended up giving them all away.
Yeah, I gave most of them away, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
I'd come in, grab a big bag full. And, "Oh, do you mind if I take these down to Sutton?" It's like, okay, help yourself.
Yeah, yeah. But they are good because again, it's just another band on your
Yeah,
wrist,
yeah.
which is people are happy to wear
I've got
bands.
a watch and I've got a little bracelet and a little rubber band. What difference does it make,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They have them in the swimming pool.
Yes.
And I was thinking of stealing a load.
Not recommended.
No, no. I tell you what I notice, me old mucker, is that we've got the zones of
Zones of
regulation.
regulation.
Now every time I see this, I think of
Rebecca?
Rebecca Duffus, zones of regulation. So it's pretty kind of self-explanatory, isn't it?
It is.
You just match your moods to the colours and so on. And it's a lot of how to get from one zone to another. What do I need to do to move on out of one zone and another? That's great. But I think, have I told you
You mentioned it 2 weeks ago,
about the black
the
zone?
black zone.
So there's this kid, right? And there we go. And I was with the great and mighty Rebecca Duffus. And we were in this school, and she's obsessed with him. Really, she does this stuff about zones of regulation. She says, "Are you using zones with this child?" Yeah, it don't work. Oh, really? Really? Okay. What's going wrong with it? Because they're usually pretty good. And she went, I showed it to him. I said, "What zone are you in?" He said, "Black." She said, "There is no black zone. It's blue and there's green and there's yellow and there's red. No, I'm a black zone. Black." And Rebecca said, "He's just told you everything about his mood, you know, that he's communicating everything. He might not be using your colors, but let's be honest, he's not in a good mood.
Yeah.
He's not in a good zone. That's your starting point.
It's
Okay, you're in the black zone. What do we need to do to get you in the green zone? That's
Mm.
that's okay,
And I think it's important. We've shown the blue, the green, the yellow, and the red,
Yeah,
but we could actually show what colors do you want these
yeah,
to
yeah,
be?
yeah,
Choose your color.
yeah.
Because you might not like these colors, therefore it's not going to work. So what color do you want? It's
Well,
the same with the 5-point scale, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. The incredible 5-point scale, very similar, except there's five settings instead of four. Yeah, use the colors that you like. I mean, people have lucky colors.
Mm.
They feel they have a lucky color. You know, um, we've also we've also got sort of people who they may be calmed by a certain color, and therefore their zone. I know you just kind of said that it might be the red zone. It might be the red zone. Um, I remember buying my daughter her first car.
Yeah.
I said, "Which one do you want?" She says, "The red one." No, it's the red one. And then when she got it, the first thing she bought, a red handbag to match
Oh
it.
wow. Yeah, of course, of course.
Colors matter to people,
Yeah,
don't they?
yeah, yeah.
Colors really matter to
Mm.
people. And so you can make somebody more comfortable by changing colors, by putting colors into it, and 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 helping them to access more, because it's just one more element of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
I was reading something about carpets.
Yes. I would think I know where you're going with that.
Do you think? Go on, where am I going? Because you might have something better than me.
Well, no, no, but if you're choosing carpets, you've got to look at designs of the carpet.
Yeah.
If it's sort of just a fairly bland, straight color,
Mm.
then it's okay for the majority of colors. But if it's got a fleck in it, or if it's got a little bit of oh, not necessarily carpet, but rug,
Mm.
um, you can drag your foot along a carpet and it'll leave a mark behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, does that annoys the heck out of me
Does
because
that
I
really?
have to go and then flatten it so that it's all looking the same again. If it's under, oh my goodness, what you done there just looks so wrong. And there's other cabinets now, or if it's got a pattern,
Yeah.
what can that pattern do? Sometimes the floor looks like it's moving
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
the colors and everything else from the patterns.
That's true. And the research I read was that autistic children, it said, but just imagine that most research in autism is usually about children, and but actually it's all adaptable.
Yes.
It's autism is autism whether you're 99 or 9. Um, but that it can be difficult to walk across patterned carpets and floors.
Hmm.
And I thought, my goodness, I'd never, yeah, I could imagine it's difficult to look at.
Hmm.
It might be a little bit making you woozy, but to actually say it's difficult to walk across.
Yeah. Now, did you think that that is, although it's done by a study for autistic organization or whatever who had done that
Yeah,
study, that's more to me of the sensory
yeah,
area.
yeah.
And they would be looking at the sensory from the autistic point of
Mm,
view. But anybody with a proprioception
hmm.
or vestibular problem would have that same issue of going across
Yeah,
pattern floors
yeah,
and that.
anybody. But this
Yeah.
is that back to autism again, isn't it? In fact, autism, ADHD, all sorts of things, really.
Mm.
Even communication in PDA. What we say is that what we say is that good SEND practice is good practice for all.
Yeah.
And so, we started off talking about color coding, didn't we? And I said,
Mhm.
well, that's classic autism intervention,
It is, yeah.
but it's great for everybody.
It is absolutely it's perfect for everybody.
Yeah,
And if you use it for that, people will just flourish with it and be able
yeah, yeah.
to think we're all on the same page.
And we don't have to
But
work the other stuff out as well.
yeah, exactly. But we could be at different levels, but still
Mm,
on the same page using the same stuff, the same resources and everything else
mm,
to go from there. I mean, if you look at our office, the walls are very much very, very bland.
yeah,
But I've got an array of different colored chairs
yeah.
in here. And if I put them out just willy-nilly and the colors and everything else are all over the place, the amount of complaints I
Mhm,
get because they're not um, the same colors are not together
mm.
or the same style of chair is not together. We have to have them put out in a certain way.
Do you remember when we were in that little village hall somewhere
Yes, I do.
doing a talk? And was it Reuben or Isaac?
Isaac was with us.
Isaac, my son Isaac,
Yeah.
who he's on every spectrum imaginable is Isaac, but he wasn't happy, was he, about the chairs?
No.
And they'd got all these different green chairs, blue chairs, and he put them all together. We just slung them out, hadn't we?
Yeah.
No, not
Yeah.
at all happy. I'd forgotten that. That was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
funny.
But it's if you're setting things out, it's important not just to have things in line, but to have them color coordinated and everything else because it messes with the head.
Yeah.
It
Well,
just
yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. We used to have a guy at the youth club, didn't he? Used to sell the chocolate bars,
Yeah.
and they always had to be in a right pattern. It's a similar thing. I know it's not necessarily colors, but it is a similar thing.
Mm.
So, Gordon, right. The other thing I was going to say about the overlays,
Yeah.
yeah, they may match them to their favorite football club. They
Yeah.
may match them to all sorts of things. I was going to say about this overlay thing, when you're working with overlays or punch pockets, as I choose, um, it's interesting because you can pay a lot of money for a for an intervention from an optometrist
Yeah.
and get exactly the right shade of blue. I might be a bit bare bones bread and butter, but I will say this. I don't think it really matters that much.
Hmm.
I think if you've got someone who needs a sky blue or a Pacific Ocean blue or whatever it is, and you give them blue, I think you're on the way in the right direction.
You're in the right direction,
Yeah,
and if it's wrong, they'll tell you.
yeah, they will tell you.
But what you're doing is you're improving a situation to what it
Yeah,
was.
you're making it better. And you know, my attitude is it's little steps.
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't always used to be little steps, but these days I really, really am interested in the little steps. You don't have to make a huge impact. You make those little impacts and you build on them.
Mm,
You know, and in actual fact, if you use too many interventions, it's too much for people.
yeah,
You know, on the dyslexia workshop that I do, um, on the dyslexia workshop that I do, um, there's maybe 100 strategies on that workshop.
mm,
Don't go for 100 strategies as a child. They'll explode.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
three, two, even one, just one strategy.
yeah.
So
So before we finish on colour,
we're not finishing on colour, are we? I'm enjoying it.
yeah, well, we will be doing because we were a shorter version, but we talk about foods.
Mm,
Our child won't eat certain foods or whatever.
yeah.
He'll only eat the bland foods,
Don't eat the blue
the
Smarties.
beige or whatever,
Oh
and
yeah,
things
yeah,
like that. Because again, it's non-threatening. If it was red like peppers and that, the taste could be so much different to it. It could be really, really
yeah,
hot,
yeah,
even though
yeah,
it's not.
yeah.
And their association. So
Mm,
sometimes the color is what's driving the food side of things.
yeah,
And then when we're in class, um, it's the clothes our teachers may be wearing.
yeah.
We're all in
Oh,
uniform,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but our teachers wear more or less what they want. And sometimes they're wearing sort of pretty garish
yeah,
outfits and that can be really hard for our children. And when you talk to professionals and that, they're normally in grey or blue, something
yeah, yeah.
quite bland.
Like Gordon and I are wearing, really.
Yeah,
If you're going into a school setting, you don't want it. You don't want to be. Um, if for my role doing observations, I want to sink into the background
yeah, yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
I don't really want to be noticed. And B, it can be distracting.
yeah.
Uh, and the other thing about that is I sort of talk about novelty ties.
Yes.
Um, you know, um, that kind of thing, and that also, though it's not about color, but also I do not want to be slipping into the area of smells as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got a lovely bottle of aftershave on the desk. I never wear it because I don't want to go into a school smelling of something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to be the smell thing.
No,
And so,
it's a
yeah,
barrier. It's a barrier. We had one guy, teacher who just wanted to stand out.
right. And you
But
get them, yeah,
he wanted to sort of do the right thing and dress down
yeah,
for being at school. But his socks were always bright colours and they would be
right,
changing every day.
yeah.
But they were a distraction for a lot of people because of that doesn't go with clashes. Oh my God, it's really sore. No.
But that again, you know, is about his personality,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's great to celebrate your personality, but he's in the workplace,
yeah,
and the workplace has needs.
yeah.
If you're in the army, you're not going to go and you're not going to wear your garish socks and your bow
You
tie.
know,
You're just not. It's a place of work and a job, and
yeah.
um, my children used to think it was really funny seeing the RAF in their orange high visibility coats over the camouflage gear. And I used to say, oh, it's for when they're hiding in jelly. So
Brilliant.
yeah, so, don't encourage me, Gordon.
No.
So colors really, really important. And there's other points where some things only come in one color, and I've been thinking about this really is, and things that I think we need more variety around color. So, for example, the fidgety feet we use a
Yeah.
resource that you put your feet on and it just does that while you're sitting and working. It's great for gross motor hyperactivity. Don't you use it for your dicky hip, don't you? And it's really comfortable, but they only come in blue. Now, I don't want to be gender specific, but there are a lot of girls that would like yellow or pink or something, the brighter colors. or and they actually only come in blue.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, and again, I'm not being gender specific, I'm being factual. There are children who prefer different things or just prefer different colors,
Mm.
you know, and and this can put people off using the resources. There's that lovely new stacking chair that TTS
Yes.
have got out, which is basically loads of little round joints that go together. It's got a seat on the top, and you can wobble around on it like that. It's multicolored, and it's multicolored, so it can possibly be a distraction to those kids.
Hmm.
So it's right. There's a lot of stuff to be thinking about there.
There's a tremendous amount.
Mm,
And I suppose if we think about it, colors, there's the rainbow, there's the
mm,
spectrum, and people
mm,
look at the autism and
mm.
rainbows and spectrum and sort of say it just all blends into one.
Yeah, it does all, and
And it can.
it can do, yeah, and I think this is again, it's all worth remembering. Um, ADHD, we've got a lot of ADHD people who struggle with red and
Hmm.
bright colours like that. Struggle with any colours. I would live much happier in a black and white world.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely,
Mm.
definitely, definitely, definitely. So we got a lot of stuff to be thinking about with colour.
Favorite color?
Da, 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 da. I think I like brown
Yeah.
or sort of moss green.
Hmm.
I like that kind of if I'm drawn to clothing, I like brown jeans and a brown waistcoat and
Right.
stuff, and
Mm.
and I've got a lot of brown jackets, and
Yeah, yeah.
and if they're not brown, they're kind of moss green. A very country set, I am.
Yes,
Very
yes, yes,
country set. What
indeed,
about
indeed.
you?
So I never knew for a long time, but I suppose blue
Yeah.
would be my main color,
Mm.
and then your beiges and browns.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Again, it's all dull colors.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I
Uh,
do wonder why, We're all conditioned, we're drawn to what we need, not what we
Indeed,
want.
yeah,
We're drawn to what we need, and that's really, really important. And oh gosh, there was yeah,
yeah,
danger. I saw sort of red for danger. Everybody knows that. You know what? This is absolutely fascinating. I did a workshop for the Chartered Institute for International Chartered for the banking governing body. And you know what? I was talking about colours going into a bank. You know who wasn't there?
go on.
Santander.
Oh,
They never attended.
no,
And who do we think have got the most Santander? Red.
yeah,
Everything's red.
everything's red.
So really tricky one. I've had a fantastic genius idea.
All right,
Why don't we? We're about to finish this
we
today. It
are.
was lovely that you came along. We did have a false start of one.
We did.
And I think what we could do is should we put it up as a bonus episode?
We'll put it up because we were talking about managing
And
expectations.
then we couldn't manage it
No, due to things that happened whilst we were
online, yeah.
online filming and talking, it became apparent we couldn't manage to deliver that particular
No,
subject based on what was going on.
yeah,
So we managed our expectations. So I said, look, let's do something else.
yeah,
Let's manage it within the time, and we'll come back to managing expectations properly later down the line.
yeah.
But today we had to manage our expectations. We weren't going to get through it
We
because
were
of things that
definitely
happened.
not. And the interesting thing is, um, we have give if at first you don't succeed, try. No, don't try. Absolutely, I'm being genuinely serious. If at first you don't succeed, do something different.
Yeah.
Do something, and that's what we did. It's been gorgeous to see you all, even though we can't see you. So full of crap, aren't I? It's lovely to be discussing these things with you. What do you think? Get in touch and let us
Yeah,
know.
please do let us know. And what do you want us to talk about?
Mm,
We've got a list of things that we're going to tick off over the weeks. But
yeah,
if you can help me add to that list, that would be fantastic.
yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Um,
Don't forget to be in touch. We've got pactsupport@hotmail.com, PAACT, pactsupport@hotmail.com, Whitehouse Andrew@hotmail.co.uk.
yeah, can I just say that the packsupport.com is the website. The email address is packsupport@hotmail.co.uk.
Oh, right, there you go. You
Yeah.
heard it from him first. Look after yourselves. Have a fabulous week and stay in touch. Peace and love. See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.